93.7 The Ticket.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh-cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals, located in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Introducing The Outlet by Sartor Heyman. The Outlet brings you luxurious Sartor Heyman quality jewelry at unbeatable prices. Shop our expansive inventory of overstocked merchandise and a vast estate collection that just hasn't found its home yet. This is your chance to own stunning designer jewelry at a fraction of the cost. Elevate your style at The Outlet by Sartor Heyman, where luxury and affordability meet. Downtown at 12th and O or online at sartorheyman.com.
The Stars host the Sioux City Musketeers for the first time this season next Friday at 7:05 at the Icebox. Both teams will be wearing specialty uniforms, and Lincoln's jerseys will be auctioned off after the game, with proceeds heading to the Aubrey Brown Club to benefit families who have lost a child far too soon. Lock in your tickets now by heading to lincolnstars.com or by calling 402-474-7827.
Welcome into the LIBA Business Hour, sponsored by Nats to Tasseling, highlighting local independent businesses in and around Lincoln on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here's your host, Bud Seinhorst.
Welcome to the LIBA Business Hour. Thank you to our show sponsor, Nats Tasseling. Earn cash, build character, Nats Tasseling. Learn more about Nats at notafraidtosweat.com. Our opening segment today is sponsored by U-Stop. Earn points that spend like cash with the Kickback card, which can get you snacks and even gas. Available at all 24 U-Stop locations. If you want to join the conversation today, you can call or text 402-464-5685. Listen on the Ticket app, theticketfm.com, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Allo Channel 961. Or if you're getting ready to go to the Husker basketball game today, want to stop and have a good cup of coffee, just stop down at the studio here at 1040 O Street and grab a cup of coffee and check things out before you head to the game. So,
Junior Achievement of Lincoln has served the youth of our community for over 50.
Thank you to Junior Achievement for that shout out. We'll give them a shout out. Everybody knows I love Junior Achievement, so there you go. Our first guest today is we're kind of flipping the roles today. Normally you hear him here on the Ticket on Thursday mornings. He brings in some great music, and then he's like a musical historian. You're like the official musical historian of 93.7 The Ticket. Welcome, Rick Heyman from Sartor Heyman.
Well, thanks for having me. It's great to be here, bud.
Oh, I'm excited to flip the roles on you a little bit. Usually you kind of direct that segment, so now we're gonna direct it and have you be the guest this time for a change.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I like this. This is great.
So I'm excited just to have you talk a little bit, and we're gonna hit the history of Sartor Heyman. And so, can you just kind of give us a history of Sartor Heyman and
sure
all that, and then I'll talk to you in about 20 minutes after you. No, just kidding.
Okay, yeah. So Sartor Heyman is a four generation actually business, local business here in Lincoln. It was started in 1905 by Mr. Sartor, who is no longer with us. Obviously, that was a long time ago. However, in the 50s, my grandfather, Bill, had retired, basically. He was grew up in Crete, my dad and grandpa, and we're from Crete. And they moved to Lincoln. He was a contractor on the side doing some homes, and he was also a watchmaker. And back in those days with the railroad here, it was critical that the railroaders had an extremely accurate watch. Everybody knows about railroad watches, or at least they used to. And so he was working at Sartor's as the watch timer guy. My grandfather was.
Oh, wow.
And he was one of the best in the country in getting these watches running exactly on time. You got to remember, those were old mechanical watches. It wasn't like
this wasn't time it up with your cell phone and
right
get
or
it that way.
yeah, Timex with a quartz battery or something in it, so it was critically important. And so all the railroad guys came in and brought their watches in there. Well, one thing led to another. Mr. Sartor decided to retire, and at that time he offered it to my grandfather Bill, and my dad was in college, Don, and he said, do you guys want to buy me out? And so they agreed that they would. And so my dad graduated from college, and this was 55, 56 or something. They bought him out for 50 grand.
Holy buckets.
In 1956, it was $50,000. And that was back when it was on 12th and O.
Okay, just right up the street.
I mean, across the street from where we are now. That's what I'm trying to say. So that then eventually became a million other things. It was Cliff's. It was 12th Street Pub. Now it's a distillery. But that location in the Anderson building there was where originally, when my dad and grandfather became involved, was the location. It's been in many locations downtown, but that was the one at that time.
Wow, that's awesome. So if my math is right, you're about ready to celebrate 120 years in Lincoln.
That's
a big
year.
Deal. That's awesome.
We're 119. We don't look it. We don't feel it. We feel fresh as a daisy. We're young. We're hip, but we've been around a long, long time.
Well, and you and I were talking as we were having a cup of coffee here earlier, and that's one of the really cool things that I love about Lincoln and being able to do this show is talk to so many businesses, because for a town of our size, the number of businesses that we have with 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 years of service to our community. It's not like they've been around for 100 years and they moved to Lincoln. It's born and bred. Is pretty amazing for our community.
It really is. And we were also discussing families and businesses that have been around forever and stories and history. And it's amazing. I mean, I don't know any other town of our size that you could go to that has that type of history. And a lot of it's kind of hidden. You don't really notice it. It's businesses that you wouldn't even think of. It's not necessarily retail stuff. But we all know people and families that have had these businesses forever. And it's incredible. It's a testament to, first, Nebraska, obviously, because Nebraska is a wonderful place to live and grow and raise a family, but also to the individual families and those who made that happen.
Well, and the way that our community supports those businesses, and you made a great point there, Don. Or, oh my gosh,
that's okay. You can call me
Rick,
Don.
Don, that's a compliment.
Thank you.
But Rick, you made a really great point, because the community, it's across industries.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just in the retail industry. It's not just in the construction industry. It's across industries, and it's kind of amazing to see that. It's just awesome.
Yeah, heavy machinery. I mean, just the amount of stuff that actually comes out of Lincoln. I don't think many people realize. Go down to the Haymarket, look at Olson, look at Huddle, look at these newer companies that are coming along. It's amazing. I mean, they could be anywhere, but they're here. So it's really cool. We love Lincoln. We also have a store in Grand Island, and we love Grand Island. We just love Nebraska as a whole. We're high on Nebraska. We think the future is very bright here.
Well, and you talked about those companies here in Lincoln that do things all over. We're here again. We're Rick Heyman, Sartor Heyman Jewelers here in Lincoln. But like last weekend at the Super Bowl, Lincoln Industries was the one who designed the set, basically.
I saw that
for the broadcast. And it's like, that's a pretty big deal. You look at the University of Nebraska and the innovation that goes on there. They developed a safer barrier for NASCAR.
Right.
Like we are just so blessed here.
We are
with so many of those things. So let's talk a little bit more about Sartor Heyman.
Sure.
We got a little Lincoln
Happy
history.
to.
Let's talk one of your top two subjects that you know about. One's Sartor Heyman and the other's music.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about Sartor Heyman and kind of the evolution that you've seen in the industry over the years.
A lot has changed in the jewelry industry, just as you were as we were talking about earlier, the jewelry industry as a whole typically was a family local business. It's always been that way. It's one of the few businesses that I can think of, and I was thinking about this the other day. It's one of the few businesses that I can think of that started out as family and mostly remain as family. Locally, they have not branched out and gone national. Now you have your chains, of course. You've got your national chain jewelry stores. A lot of them are struggling right now because malls and things like that are having a hard time. But to look at the history of the jewelry industry as a whole, it's made up of a lot of little businesses. And when you go to the national shows, we're a member of a couple buying groups, and it's all local guys. I mean, they may have 1, 3, 5 stores, but that's about it. And there's a few locals that have gone on to 10 or 20 stores, but it just becomes too unwieldy after a while. But traditionally, when it comes to jewelry, it's a very specialized thing. It requires a very specialized education, and that's why we don't turn over employees. It's a career, and you've got to understand the industry. And I think what people as a customer are looking for, because they don't know anything about jewelry, they're looking for somebody they can trust. So, we can say, hey, 119 years, best of for decades, LIBA, Better Business Bureau, you name it. We've always been there, really tried hard to make sure the customer is always satisfied. You don't get that from a national chain or a faceless person online. And so we take that responsibility very, very heavily. And we are, our goal is to make sure the customer is always satisfied, and word of mouth. I mean, look, we can spend fortunes on radio and TV and everything else, but generational word of mouth. I mean, we're dealing right.
A satisfied customer is,
yes,
because when I always have a friend, he says, you always got to have a guy.
Right.
Got to have a guy for everything, whether it's heating and air,
That's
whatever.
Got to have a lawyer.
You got to have a lawyer. You got to have an accountant, all those kind of things. But when people say, hey, my son is looking to get married, he needs to buy my future daughter-in-law an engagement ring, where should they go?
Right.
Those are the kind of things I think you're talking about that make the big difference.
Well, and I was just telling somebody the other day, I've helped, that I know of, 4 generations of family.
That's awesome.
Going back to when I was 17 or 18, just starting out in the store, and then helping their kids, helping their grandkids, and then helping the great grandkids at this point now. That's how old I am. I've been around a long time.
That's also a testament to what you were talking about the relationship and the service. And I know, having shopped in your stores over my lifetime, that they want to help you find the right thing. It's not about, I'm trying to sell you this, or I'm trying to hit this quota, or, some of those kind of things, which I think makes a big difference. Because when a guy, I'll just use myself, a guy like me walks in and says, I'm looking for X, I don't know anything about jewelry. I don't,
right.
No offense to me, a carat is something that's on a salad.
That's right.
So I don't know what that means, or clarity, or all of those other things that go into it. Is it white gold? Is it gold? Yellow gold, whatever it is, it's amazing. But to have somebody that's very knowledgeable that can walk you through the process is a big deal.
Yeah. And again, that's why our turnover is almost nothing in our employees, because they develop customer bases who will only talk to them. And we have great people. That's the secret to any business, is have great people and pay them good.
Yeah.
And they do make good money, and they earn it because they work really hard. And so if you've got people that are not interested in helping others, I don't know what you're doing, frankly. Business owners out there, and they know that. It's just, the point is that servicing a community is a lot more than just opening your doors and hoping people show up. It's
in running transactions. It's
correct.
The relationship thing.
It is the relationship, 100%.
Awesome. Rick Heyman with Sartor Heyman Jewelers here with us. So You've made a few shifts in your store just down the street here.
That's right.
I think it's probably been over about the last year, 6 months to a
Yep.
year, right? So now talk about kind of that shift over here down at 11th and O. It's an outlet now. So
Yes.
talk to us about what that outlet store means.
Well, as we were talking earlier, again, downtown used to be the hub of all shopping in Lincoln, and a lot of people don't realize that. There was no malls, there was none of that. Everybody went downtown, so all your shopping was downtown. Back in those days, that store was originally the Boyd's building, they called it. It was originally First National Bank of Lincoln. And it was the home of the largest, to this day still, cash robbery in history.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this was back like in the 30s when the guys were running around with Tommy guns, and they rolled into town and they knew what day all the cash was going to be there and stole all the cash out of the safes. And there was one policeman in downtown Lincoln on a bicycle.
Oh my gosh.
And he turned around and ran out. But anyway, my dad bought that building in the 70s when we knew the Centrum was coming in, because we used to be over there, and we tore it down. So we went up into the building and got everything that we could handle out of it that we thought was salvageable. And then we built that building, which you see today, which has won awards nationally for its design. It's very unusual.
It's a beautiful building.
It is a beautiful building. It's all concrete. It's crazy. The windows face north, if you look at it, and that was done because true north, if you're grading diamonds for color grading diamonds, you need to have true north daylight. So they made all the windows face north, which is not very ecological or smart when it comes to heating your building, obviously.
Yeah.
But so we have our offices there. We have our shop there, and our shop is another reason why, a big reason why we've done so well. I'm going to get those guys on the radio hopefully in the next month, because these guys are fabulous. These guys are master artisans. But anyway, we're all there. Don owned the building. We don't want to get rid of the building. Even though shopping downtown per se has changed, we still get shopping downtown to a degree. But in the jewelry industry, unlike the clothing industry or the car industry, where you have turnover every year, you get the new styles, you get this and that. Most jewelers have a real problem with inventory management, because if it doesn't sell, it's there.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean it's not a good piece of jewelry. It just means it didn't get
The
sold.
right person hasn't just seen it yet. Yeah.
So that's a problem that we've always had. So we decided to convert this store into a discount store called The Outlet, and it truly is brand new jewelry that just never got sold, and it's up to 70% off. So your typical discount in there is going to be 30 to 50% off, but there are items that are 70 and more % off, and they're brand new. And we also have all of our estate items, which are items that we bought out of families that someone's passed and the kids didn't want it. And there are some incredible things in that grouping. So it's all available. If you want to save money, this is the place to do it.
Awesome. Okay, we're with Rick Heyman here, Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Rick, really quick as we wrap up this segment, so you've got the downtown location. You mentioned Grand Island. Make sure everybody knows where else the rest of your locations are.
Right. We're South Point, obviously. That's our number one store. It's our highest volume store. We've been out there now, gosh, going on 20 plus years. Which
now
is
you're making me feel old,
which
because
is
I remember
amazing.
when you opened out there.
It is amazing, and that mall, it had a really hard time getting off the ground early on, and they really wanted the locals out there. And so at that time, my dad didn't do it. My dad was, if my dad was anything, he was a genius at waiting. He just never jumped the gun. So he waited and waited and waited, and eventually they came to him and said, "We'll make you the deal of the century. No one else in the jewelry industry, no other jeweler can be in there. Come on out."
That's awesome.
So that was like 23 years ago or something. And we've been out there ever since. And we'll always be there, I think, or at least in the area. It's a great location. We do wonderful business out there. Our brain center, if you will, and our shop are downtown.
Yeah.
And then Grand Island, we have a store also with some wonderful jewelers out there.
Excellent. So you can check out Sartor Heyman, downtown Lincoln, South Point, and out in Grand Island. Rick Heyman, again, thank you so much. We probably could do a 2 or 3 hour show just talking about Lincoln history, but I appreciate you taking some time and kind of being on the other side of the coin here that you're used to here at the Ticket. So
it's been great. Thanks so much, Bud. And I appreciate everything LIBA does for Lincoln businesses. Folks, support LIBA.
Excellent. Thanks again, Rick Heyman, Sartor Heyman Jewelers. We'll be back after this on 93.7 The Ticket.
Junior Achievement of Lincoln has served the youth of our community for over 50 years.
50 years?
50 years.
They've done what for 50 years?
They've prepared students from K through 12.
K through 12?
Yeah. Junior Achievement prepares students on financial literacy and entrepreneurship work.
That's amazing.
I know. That's why when you fill up on Tuesdays, UStop will donate 2 cents of every gallon sold to the Junior Achievement of Lincoln.
Count me in.
Picture a hot summer day, sun blazing in the fields as far as the eye can see. Now imagine you're a teenager making bank, all while enjoying the great outdoors. Welcome to Nats Detasseling Inc., where they're not afraid to sweat. This summer, join the Nats team for an unforgettable experience. Forge friendships, learn responsibility, and earn money. Visit notafraidtosweat.com now. Nats Detasseling, where hard work meets good times.
A lot of work goes into making Nebraska, Nebraska. Keeping it green. Helping it thrive. Making it fun. Everything that goes into caring for our outdoors, from waters to wildlife, plays a big role in making Nebraska home. Learn how we help conserve our state's natural resources at outdoornebraska.org.
Paid for by Nebraska Game and Parks. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Are you searching for a helping hand in life? Look no further. Integrated Behavioral Health Services is your answer. They're your compassionate, trusted partners committed to guiding you from challenges to triumphs. Their licensed professionals offer personalized therapy for individuals, couples, and families. At IBHS, the focus is you. Experience a life-changing transformation in an environment tailored to your unique needs. Visit ibhealthservices.com today and take that first step towards a brighter future. Discover the power of healing with Integrated Behavioral Health Services. You're not alone. Let them walk this journey with you.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness. And now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is Nebraska's premier NIL company. And with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Introducing The Outlet by Sartor Heyman. The outlet brings you luxurious Sartor Heyman quality jewelry at unbeatable prices. Shop our expansive inventory of overstocked merchandise and a vast estate collection that just hasn't found its home yet. This is your chance to own stunning designer jewelry at a fraction of the cost. Elevate your style at the outlet by Sartor Heyman, where luxury and affordability meet. Downtown at 12th and O or online at sartorheyman.com.
A smoke-free environment is the only way to fully protect from the dangers of secondhand smoke. That's why smoke-free policies are so important to me. Whether it's in my car, apartment building, or when I'm dining outdoors, there's no place for secondhand smoke or e-cigarette aerosol. Breathe easier knowing the facts. Visit smokefree.ne.gov. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to the LIBA Business Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This segment sponsored by Integrated Behavioral Health Services.
Welcome back to the LIBA Business Hour. This segment is sponsored by Integrated Behavioral Health Services, building a stronger, healthier community through advocacy, inclusion, perseverance, unity, and compassion. Learn more at ibhealthservices.com. All right, our second segment today, we have Tony Lawhorn with us. Tony with Lawhorn Designs. Now, Tony was on the show previously, but we had to pre-record that show, and the sound wasn't very good. So I felt like Tony deserved a bit of a mulligan to be able to come back on the show and talk a little bit more about Lawhorn Designs. So, Tony, first of all, welcome back to the LIBA Business Hour. It's good to have you. It's good to see you. So let's just give us kind of the background of Lawhorn Designs and what you do and a bit about your business.
Okay. Yeah, I started it in 2007. Just kind of fell into the business. I was working for a local water treatment company doing their marketing. Had always had an interest in graphic design, that kind of thing. Ended up getting interested in website design. Built a couple websites for the first one I built was for the company I was working for. They didn't have one built. They had hired someone to build it. They hadn't done it yet. They wanted more money to get started. And I said, well, here, buy me this software. I'll build you a website. From that, the corporate office saw it. Other regional companies saw the website and was super impressed with it. So they asked me if I could build one for them. Besides them, I ended up doing a couple other local business websites. And at the time knew nothing about business and still learning all the time. But I thought, hey, I'm making money. I'm selling a service. I must be in business now. So that's kind of where it started. Again, it was kind of slow. I was still working my regular job, but doing that on the side. The name, other than being my last name, kind of came from when I was doing their marketing products. One of the things we did were water bottles for like the Heart Walk and the air show and things like that. And just to entertain myself, on the bottom right, it always says, 16.9 fluid ounces, but there's nothing on the left side in small print. So I thought, hey, we'll just do a label designed or label created by Lawhorn Design. It was a Lawhorn design. So, when it came time to choose a business name, I thought, somewhere in a landfill, there's thousands of water bottles with my name on it. This makes it look like I've been around forever. So it kind of stuck. My 10-year anniversary, I thought about changing it when I ended up incorporating, and I had a few other people say, yeah, you don't really want a business with your name on it. It's not national enough. But the more I talked to local businesses, they all knew me, as a solo entrepreneur. You are the business. So what's the point in changing it now? Everybody knows you as the business. So it just kind of stuck. And really, I still get national business. So they find me on the website. They hear about me from somewhere else. I do a bunch of stuff with the Special Olympics. So I've got Nebraska and through them, I've also got Wyoming, Maine, Alaska, so it doesn't have to be, the name doesn't matter that much.
That's awesome. Okay. So you started, basically it was designing web pages.
Correct.
And I think you've expanded a little bit since then. So why don't you talk about kind of how you've grown and expanded that business?
Yeah. While I was doing that, people, businesses would say, hey, do you know somebody that could make me a banner? Do you know someone that can embroider some shirts? Can they, somebody that can wrap my car? Well, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, that sounds like something I should probably offer if I can turn around and resell it. So I looked around and found local businesses that would work with me on a wholesale basis. That way I could, tack a little bit on for myself and still be the contact. And that's basically it turned in from websites to now pretty much anything you can put a logo on, whether it's, wall decals, flooring, carpeting, window film, your clothing, wrapping your vehicle. So it just kind of expanded from there. Whether that's good or bad for me, I think it's good because I'm a one-stop shop. It's bad for you if you don't like me anymore. Then now you've got to replace me with 10 other companies.
You got to have 10 people instead of one, right?
Exactly. But and you've got the old adage of I can't think of it as master of none. Whatever that first part is. But anyway, my thought is I'm not trying to be the master of each craft. I work with people who are the master of each one. I'm just kind of I was thinking about it the other day. I'm more of a salesman for all of these different companies. The salesman doesn't necessarily know how to, wrap your vehicle, but he knows
the guy.
He knows the guy. And that's kind of me. I am the guy. So I don't feel like I have to be a master in every craft. Now, the ones that I do myself, yes, I need to be. I'm still designing websites. I do some vinyl letter cut. I've got a giant, 52-inch Cricut, as I like to joke. So I can do giant vinyl letters. I've got a heat press. If somebody just wants a shirt that says happy birthday, it's for their kid, I can do that at home as opposed to you having to buy a dozen t-shirts.
Well, and I think, one of the things you pointed out there was your customers were asking for things and you went, this is a way for me to expand my business, right?
Right.
And that's what we have to do as business owners. We got to respond to the needs of our customers, right? And you say you're a jack of all trades and master of none, I think is what you were thinking.
That's what it is.
But you're like I'll call it a general contractor.
Correct.
If you're building a home, your general contractor is the one that brings in the electrical expertise and the plumbing expertise and the drywall expertise. You're doing the same thing,
right?
Only with items that are needed for business,
right? Marketing,
so, marketing, and
that
those
way
kind of things.
You only need one contact to find out, and if it's something that I can't do, I probably know somebody that does, and so it's easier just to call me, find out, hey, this is what I need. Are you able to do it? And what what time frame? One of the things people tend to not prepare, surprisingly. So I've had people that say, hey, I need a 10-foot backdrop. And
I need it in yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been able to deliver some of those across the country within 48 hours. I've had custom buttons done within, or not button stickers within a couple hours, business cards within 45 minutes. So there are ways to expedite things if it needs to happen. So if someone calls and says, hey, I need something and I've only got 3 weeks, and I'm like, call me in a couple of weeks when you're really stressed and then I can help you. But I will still work on it now. But that's been kind of what people know me for, is being able to quick turnaround, getting things done, and good customer service. I think with any business, that should be the foundation of it, is just the customer service side of it. Everything else can be learned, or, you find someone that can do it.
You're almost like the marketing firefighter. You put out the fires for them when
Absolutely.
when a fire pops up. It's like, oh shoot, I need this or I need that. You get it done right away. So, so you've dealt a lot in when I was with LIBA, we used you for multiple different things, just materials that we needed, etc. What are some of the things that you've seen that have become kind of popular ways for people to market themselves? So I know every year I play in the LIBA golf tournament, and I think when I started at LIBA, I had about 200 koozies from playing in that tournament. From every business in town, it was like, oh my God, I've got koozies everywhere. I have to clean out my golf bag once a year because everybody's got koozies. So what are some kind of new innovative things that you've seen for people to be able to promote their business that are a little different? That I always, when I buy those things, I want something people are going to use on a regular basis, right?
Absolutely.
If I give you something with my logo on it, I want you to use it every day so that it's out there.
And actually look at the logo and remember where you got it. Yeah, it's kind of like with pins. Everybody gives pins out, and no one really pays attention to where they got the pin unless it's a really nice pin. Then they'll pay attention and they'll show it off to people. Yeah. But you're going to pay for that. So that's the first thing that I always ask people is, for one, what is your business? Can we find something that's associated with your business? If you're a carpenter, well, let's do a ruler or something like that people will use that, that makes sense for your business. And also the second part is find something that they're actually going to use. No one needs another koozie or another cheap pin. But if you can give them something good, and it also depends on, your budget, what you're doing it for. I've done custom. It had a little flask and a couple shot glasses in a nice little case.
Oh,
it was really nice. Yeah. With their logo emblazed on each thing.
I'm digging that.
Yeah. That was nice. That was like a $35 item.
Yeah.
So again, if let's say you're a financial planner and someone has invested millions of dollars with you and you say, hey, thanks for your business, here's my pin. That's not very impressive. But if you really want to, show your appreciation, give them a little bit nicer gift. So again, if it's, depending on your budget and depending on who your clientele are, and do you want to make an impression with them, that's going to be what I would recommend. But there are thousands and thousands, people ask, hey, what's a good promotional product? Well, there are so many out there. Yeah. And so what is it you're looking for? What do you want to spend? What is it you want to stick in their mind? Again, if you're AA, you're probably, you're not going to give them the flask set.
Correct.
That's probably not a good. So, think of those things as well.
Excellent. So what's one of the coolest gifts you've ever helped? I mean, you talked about the flask and the shot glasses. Let's put that one aside. But what's like some of the coolest little gifts that you've helped someone, or marketing materials you've helped someone come up with?
And that's a hard one there. There's not a lot of unique, other than something like that with the flash set. I recently did, it seemed like in a 3 or 4 month period, I had a bunch of people that wanted stand-ups, like the cardboard, but it's not really cardboard. It's more of a hard plastic, but I did an elk for a game company, which I actually drove it to Cleveland, Ohio for them. And then I had a local business that had a superhero stand up, and I did an actual individual person, one for a high school graduation, another one for a birthday party. It's actually Jethro's birthday party. So there's
a stand-up of Jethro out there,
and people have taken it to bars with them.
Jethro, I want to see this stand-up, and I want my picture with the Jethro stand-up.
There you go, absolutely. So that's kind of a unique, interesting, and actually very affordable. But like the high school student, he was just thrilled. He didn't
that's kind of fun.
Coming.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a little bit different.
I know. Oh gosh, it's been 5 or 6 or 7 years ago when I was working in the alpaca world. Pop sockets for the back of phones were a big deal. And one of the staff members was like, well, we should try pop sockets. And I'm like, first of all, what is that?
Right.
Okay, now I know. And I'm like, that's interesting. So I went to my ultimate marketing tester, my wife, and said, what do you think about pop sockets? She's like, oh, those would be cool. And we sold the daylights out of those things. It was unbelievable. And they were a low dollar item, right?
Yep.
And it was like, holy smokes, and people just ate them up. Then we had contests where people could get their pictures and stuff. So it was,
fidget spinners is another one that seemed to come out about the same time. Everybody had the little fidget spinners. Which,
as a father of a young daughter, I hate those things.
I do too. I never promote those, but if someone asks for them, I'm going to do.
Hey, whatever the customer wants, right? Because they're always right.
I don't believe that they're always right, but yes.
Very good. Okay, so you still do website designs, you do the marketing materials, all those kind of things. Tell us now, make sure we got to get your, again, Tony Lawhorn Designs. I got to keep promoting your name for you. How can they find you, get a hold of you, website, all that good stuff?
Yep. The website is lawhorndesign.com. It's LAWHORNE and then design good. Singular. I'm also on Facebook. A lot of times on Facebook is where you're going to see some of the products that we've been doing. We, if we do something for a client, we'll promote them, throw their name out there, and it kind of shows you a range of the different things that we do. So those are the two main ones. We are on LinkedIn, Alignable, some of those social media things, but I'm not as heavily, up to date on those things. But the website and the Facebook are probably the best ways. And through the website, a lot of the prices are listed, the links to 3 different clothing stores, the link to the promotional product store. So you can actually do a lot of searching on your own that actually has prices listed. I'm always upfront with the pricing. I don't like surprises, and I don't think the client likes surprises either. So I try and let them know before they've even made a decision, this is what it's going to cost you. Does that work for you?
Excellent. So, okay, we're wrapping up our segment with Tony Lawhorn from Lawhorn Designs. As we wrap up this segment, Tony, what's a piece of advice you would give to business owners about marketing their business?
One of the biggest things that you see it every once in a while, but if you don't have something on your vehicle, which currently I do not because my last vehicle was in an accident, but it's a very affordable way to put it out there, and it's driving around. You're basically a moving billboard. It doesn't have to be a complete wrap, but at least put your decal or even a magnet if it's something you want to drive like crazy on the weekends. Put the magnet on during the week and then take it off to drive like an idiot, in your own time. But that's probably the biggest thing is there's so many marketing opportunities of just that don't cost very much. And I think not enough people are doing that.
That's interesting. So, obviously I work in professional politics, and when I work with candidates, I always talk to them about getting a magnet for their car. And they're always like, why would I want a magnet? And I'm like, okay, first of all, we get you a couple sets of magnets and it's going to cost you maybe $150, right? I mean,
half that actually.
Yeah. So if you get a couple, 3 sets, I usually get a couple, 3 sets, but I'm like, you throw those on your car, you go through a town and you're there, or you go to a parade, or, you're parked in town and you're walking around the town square or whatever. Like, people are seeing your name and they're like, oh, wow.
Brand awareness. As
yeah.
a politician, that is your brand, is your name. And, if people are going into the polls and they're like, I've never even heard of that name, as opposed to, oh, I've seen that name all over the place.
Yeah. It's a reminder. It's kind of funny. Again, Tony Lawhorn Designs. Check him out, lawhorndesign.com. Check him out on Facebook. All of those kind of things for your marketing needs, your website needs. If you need clothing, client gifts, things for your team, maybe that they have that they can give out, sit down with him, get a hold of him, and check out what they can do to help your business. Again, thank you, Tony, for coming on the show. We appreciate it. We got a lot better sound quality for you this time to promote Lawhorn Design. So again, Tony Lawhorn Design. Check them out on their website, Facebook, all those social media channels. And we'll be back right after this on 93.7 The Ticket.
Junior Achievement of Lincoln has served the youth of our community for over 50 years.
50 years?
50 years.
They've done what for 50 years?
They've prepared students from K through 12.
K through 12?
Yeah. Junior Achievement prepares students on financial literacy and entrepreneurship work.
That's amazing.
I know. That's why when you fill up on Tuesdays, U-Stop will donate 2 cents of every gallon sold to the Junior Achievement of Lincoln.
Count me in.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness. And now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is Nebraska's premier NIL company. And with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Old School with DP and J.
Do you think it's too early to talk about Patrick Mahomes as the greatest of all time? To be honest with you, I think he might be ahead of the pace. It was definitely on pace, maybe ahead of the pace. I think right now everything that he does is going to get overblown, and I think people so quickly forgot the 20-year run of the Patriots. Not 5-6 years, 20-year run of Tom Brady and the Patriots.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you searching for a helping hand in life? Look no further. Integrated Behavioral Health Services is your answer. They're your compassionate, trusted partners committed to guiding you from challenges to triumphs. Their licensed professionals offer personalized therapy for individuals, couples, and families. At IBHS, the focus is you. Experience a life-changing transformation in an environment tailored to your unique needs. Visit ibhealthservices.com today and take that first step towards a brighter future. Discover the power of healing with integrated behavioral health services. You're not alone. Let them walk this journey with you.
Picture a hot summer day, sun blazing in the fields as far as the eye can see. Now imagine you're a teenager making bank, all while enjoying the great outdoors. Welcome to Nats Detasseling Inc., where they're not afraid to sweat. This summer, join the Nats team for an unforgettable experience. Forge friendships, learn responsibility, and earn money. Visit notafraidtosweat.com now. Nats Detasseling, where hard work meets good times. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
A lot of work goes into making Nebraska, Nebraska. Keeping it green. Helping it thrive. Making it fun. Everything that goes into caring for our outdoors, from waters to wildlife, plays a big role in making Nebraska home. Learn how we help conserve our state's natural resources at outdoornebraska.org.
Paid for by Nebraska Game and Parks. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Back to the LIBA Business Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This segment sponsored by U-Stop and Whitehead Oil.
Welcome back to the LIBA Business Hour. This segment sponsored by the 1890 Initiative, helping student athletes excel within the NIL landscape. Learn how you can be involved at 1890nebraska.com. All right. Before we get kind of into the wrap up of the show today, I want to make sure we remind everybody of the upcoming LIBA events. On the 20th, we have the LIBA Luncheon at the Grand Manse in the Jasmine Room featuring Lancaster County Attorney Pat Condon. On the 27th, Coffee and Contacts hosted by Spectrum Reach, located over there about 47th and Normal Boulevard. Go check them out from 7:30 to 9 o'clock that morning. And also mark your calendars, April 11th, the annual Free Enterprise Celebration at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Check out liba.org for more information or call the office, 466-3419. They can get you all hooked up with all that information. So, okay, Ben, last week we were out at the home show.
Yep.
And I just have to, and this is totally self-serving while I'm doing this. So, Nick was out there with me, and we were talking about the women's basketball game against Iowa. And Nick said it'd be pretty cool to see Caitlin Clark break the record and the Huskers to win. And I said, no, Nick, I'm greedy. I want the Huskers to win, and I want them to hold her off from breaking the record. So at the end of that game, I was actually pretty proud of myself. So I was actually texting Nick and saying, hey, check it out, baby. But that was a great win for the program. A great atmosphere for women's basketball, over 15,000 fans in attendance for a sellout. Those kind of things really perpetuate our local downtown businesses, especially. We've got a basketball game starting here in a little bit over an hour down at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Again, same thing. Great atmosphere. Is going to be a great crowd. Hopefully everybody will get out. And if they haven't been pre-gaming downtown, maybe they can go post-game downtown at some of those local bars and restaurants and other stores down there and just supporting our local businesses. Big weekend for Nebraska athletics. Yesterday, the baseball team kicked off with a win. Great pitching performance by the pitching staff.
4-1.
4-1. And then last night, I want to give a shout out to my old friend, Coach Rhonda Ravel. She got her 1100th win as the Huskers softball coach.
That's crazy.
That's a big deal. Rhonda has been here, obviously, for a very long time, built a really great program, had some pretty devastating news within her program this last week, but Jordy Ball out for the season, but it sounds like Jordy's coming back next year, which is a great thing. But a big deal because you don't win 1,100 games in a career without building some really great program and great teams. So Coach Ravel, proud of you. Let's about a year from now, we'll be at 1,200. How about that, Rhonda? Anyway, thanks for listening today. Appreciate Rick Heyman and Tony Lawhorn coming in and being part of the business hour. We will be back next week right here at the studio at 11th and O. We'll be back next week. We'll see you next week on the LIBA Business Hour. Have a great week.
Junior Achievement of Lincoln has served the youth of our community for over 50 years.
50 years?
50 years.
They've done what for 50 years?
They've prepared students from K through 12.
K through 12?
Yeah. Junior Achievement prepares students on financial literacy and entrepreneurship work.
That's amazing.
I know. That's why when you fill up on Tuesdays,